So Sony has just dropped the trailer for Dragon Quest I&II HD-2D Remake, the gameplay overview trailer as they call it. And on top of that, Square Enix has allowed content creators to post their thoughts on I&II HD-2D Remake if they went over to PAX West and got hands-on with I&II HD-2D Remake to give their thoughts on what they've played so far. I didn't go because I don't live up in Washington, and on top of that, I'm not one of those big content creators that Square Enix is looking at just yet. One day, but not now. But of course, before we dive into this trailer and I give my thoughts on the trailer itself, I just want to make one thing clear. I have already seen this trailer because I was already interested and I was out and about at the time. So we're just going to go on and watch it, and I'll give you guys my analysis of what's being shown off in the trailers. I'll probably be pausing at times, so there you go right there. But of course, before we dive right in, I just want to make one thing clear. Make sure you go on subscribe. It's free, you might as well do it. And of course, I really do appreciate it. So, let's actually dive right in.
This is Dragon Quest I&II
Looking good,
HD
looking
2D
good.
Remake. 2 games brought together in one perfect package. A new beginning and ending awaits.
Praise be! These are glad tidings indeed.
Dragon Quest I, A Journey of
Thanks
Souls.
to the heroic efforts of the legendary Erdrick, the land of Alfgard had been restored. But after many years, the peace has been broken. The diabolical...
So I think we've seen this before, like images, I think from Feed Jump, or I think in one of the trailers for I&II HD-2D. So I'm going to assume when you talk to the king of Alfgard, they'll show off this thing in a similar sense to where you meet the king of Alien Hand. You have that one scene where they talk about how Ortega disappears. So I think this will probably pop up similar in that way, but we'll see when the game comes out, of course.
Dragon Lord has risen, and the world is once again over.
And this is something new right here. I'm recognizing these characters here. Very, very interesting indeed, though. We know that apparently, according to most people who have played through the game and just people who have done analysis of the trailers that came out previously, they're definitely adding in more stuff to this remake in comparison to Dragon Quest III. So that's definitely some good stuff right there. I know I've been pretty critical of the fact that I do think I&II HD-2D Remake was going to add just as much as 3 HD-2D. But just based on the trailers, we're definitely seeing that they're going above and beyond in comparison to 3 HD-2D.
Run by hideous monsters. In Dragon Quest I, you, the hero,
Love that
are the
art right
descendant
there.
of the legendary
I believe it's
Erdrick,
Venio right there.
a young man that possesses the courage and strength to face
Definitely more
monsters,
stuff
has been given the
added in.
duty of rescuing the Princess Gwaelin and reclaiming the Sphere of Light to liberate Alfgard.
The fate of the world rests with you.
Explore and fight.
Although you will explore the world of Alfgard unaccompanied in Dragon Quest I, you will have to be at your best, as this time you will be fighting multiple monsters.
One thing I'm hoping is that we have less single hitting spells and more AoE attacks, as that's always been the concern with me, because Dragon Quest I, at least with the past versions, has always worked because it was one-on-one battles. You're going on alone in this world and you fight against one monster at a time. I am concerned about what will happen when you have multiple monsters. Though I know according to most people, you do get abilities that do AoE attacks and the such, but I'm hoping there's more. We just don't have single spells like Frizz and Crack and what have you. We just go straight into Sizzle or Whoosh and what have you.
Led by a mysterious voice heard in a dream, you will travel to the town of Tantegel, where your
I wonder
adventure
if you start in
Seemeth thou art a
Tanago
warrior
City
of
rather
great
than Tanago
skill.
Castle.
We have long
We'll see.
awaited the coming of one such as thee.
As with Dragon Quest III, this remake of the original Dragon Quest is filled with a plethora of new areas to discover and features not seen before.
Can it truly be?
That's
You will
Catelyn
have
right there.
new encounters with fairies and dwarves.
So yeah, there's definitely more characters they're adding in, because we already saw earlier, we saw some guardsmen that were not in the original game. So definitely they're adding in a lot more things into this remake. And hopefully it kind of ties in with Dragon Quest III and just more so generally was Dragon Quest and eventually the Dragon Quest II. And also they added in one more thing, I won't mention it right now until we reach the end, or they just straight up mention it.
That did not appear in the original game.
No offense, but I'm not too fond of humans.
You'll encounter some enemies you will be acquainted with.
Love how they added in the Robin Hood.
As well as unfamiliar and powerful antagonists. Fighting enemies and monsters is all part of being the hero. Traditional but modernized turn-based battles give you an array of options at your fingertips.
So I noticed that they added in the automated battles. Show no mercy, don't use HP, focus on healing and all that stuff. I definitely do think for first-time beginners, because there are multiple enemies on the field, this might be something you might want to do, just so you don't need to fret about exactly what spells you need to do when you're facing against multiple enemies. But for me, I'm gonna try to do it solo. I'll try to do it manually and the such. So hopefully things go by well with me.
Tips. Prepare yourself and face the approaching monsters head on. You can fight with a weapon, cast spells, or simply flee, which could be advisable if you're low on health.
Before we go on, I just have to make a note. Weird way of saying cast. I have never heard someone say cost, but I've never been to England before all too much.
Thee luck in thy quest.
And then we're going to move on to Dragon Quest II.
The narrative ending of the trilogy lets you explore further to the outer reaches of Alefgard.
The wheels of fate have been set in motion.
Dragon Quest II finds us another century on, when peace has been broken by the evil High Priest Hargon, who has destroyed the Kingdom of Moonbrook.
Neither Canuck nor
I'm assuming there's
Middenhall
a
will
town
ever
in
be truly
Moonbrook now.
safe while the High Priest yet lives.
A later descendant of Erdrick, the Prince of Middenhall, spurred into action by this heinous act, sets out on a quest to join forces with 3 cousins to defeat Hargon and bring true peace to the...
So I know early on, just based on people who have hands-on, that the Prince of Cannock's sister joins you to find Cannock. So I'm going to assume she disappears for a bit and then comes back later, because from the looks of it, once you get Cannock, she probably leaves back to the castle, and then you get Moonbrook, and then you eventually get the Princess of Cannock. But I'm not too sure on that. We'll see what happens.
land.
Discover a new world.
Explore the expansive world map and towns of Middenhall, Cannock, and Moonbrook, founded by the descendants of the hero Erdrick, as well as brand new villages where you will meet the locals, pick up missions, buy...
No way, that underground area I do recognize. It's the one area where you get the thief key.
important items, and of course, rest.
We have much to do on the morrow.
I wonder if the Prince of Middenhall talks or if that was the Prince of Cannock, because I noticed the Prince of Middenhall's face moving. It could be the Prince of Middenhall, but hard to say.
Discover castles, ruins, and dungeons, where you will unearth secrets and gather valuable items.
And that's the destroyed
As you progress through
castle
the school,
of the Dragon
you will
Lord.
gain more companions to help you on your quest.
With me by your side, you shall not fall again.
Starting out, you are the hero, the cool-headed Prince of Middenhall. Although he cannot use spells, he defeats his...
You know, now I think about it, maybe you get the Princess of Cannock when the Prince of Cannock falls bedridden before you head over to Rome. That's kind of just spitballing right there. Maybe before you get to Randarok and then you heal up the Prince of Cannock, the Princess of Cannock comes in, but I'm not too sure.
enemies with his brawn and skilled sword combat. The Prince of Cannock can be carefree, but is highly skilled in both swordplay and magic.
It is a pleasure to join your fellowship.
While the boys fight it out with their muscle, the Princess of Moonbrook focuses her strength with a more considered approach and magical abilities. A newly playable character takes your party up to 4, Sister of the Prince of Cannock, this princess supports with magic and swift attacks, crucial in battle.
It is as I always say, age is no excuse to laze.
Each character plays a vital role in your strategic battle.
Almost sounds similar to the voice of Veronica in the English version of DQ2. Kind of a little bit something I've noticed.
Battle tactics, so make sure you have them readily equipped for the fight.
Let's play.
As your party grows, so do your options in battle. Each character's unique abilities and skills makes combat more expansive than ever before.
I just noticed the slow-mo kill, which means that right there was a boss. Probably a new boss that you go on and face. Where exactly, I'm not sure.
As you explore further, you will meet familiar monsters that you recognize from Dragon Quest III, as well as a whole...
So I'm guessing there's going to be like monster chests, just based on the fact that I can't remember the previous name, but the mimics pop up.
Host of new monsters to defeat and conquer. Every new environment brings stronger and ghastlier brutes, and more difficult quest objectives. But don't be deterred. Discover unknown lands where grisly creatures rule, and only the hardy venture.
We are victorious!
There are more improvements across both games. Sigils originally only appeared in Dragon Quest II, but now can be found in both games, advancing the story as well as aiding in combat.
So they mentioned that sigils are going to be popping up in Dragon Quest I. Though they just mentioned that sigils are only in Dragon Quest I, because in Dragon Quest II, getting the sigils is a requirement to go out and progress and head over to Randarek. I know I previously mentioned it as Roan, but that was the previous localized name. But I wonder what the sigils will do in DQ1. Is it a requirement? Do you need to get more than just the Sunstone, Staff of Rain, and Erdrick's Pendant? I guess we'll see when the game comes out. One thing I'll mention is that I am going to head over to Japan to Tokyo Game Show to actually try out DQ1 and 2 HD-2D remake. So keep a lookout on there.
Scrolls also appear in both games, whereby abilities and spells are learnt by using an item rather than leveling up. Traveling around the epic landscape.
Also, I just remembered there's now scrolls in this game that'll let you learn new abilities. And from the looks of it, you have one of them that's knows for treasure, so it's not just going to be physical abilities. It's also going to be some abilities that'll let you to find treasure and what have you.
Of each game has been made easy with map markers, a mini-map, and autosaves. In addition to the variety of languages for text, you can also choose to play with English or Japanese voiceover.
いやー、探しましたよ、ローレシア王子。
To help you progress, quality of life features, such as the ability to change battle speed and auto-battling have been added. The rich orchestral soundtrack for each game by the Tokyo Metropolitan Orchestra completes an epic and unmissable package.
And also keep in mind, this will be the first time ever officially that 1 and 2 will have orchestrated OSTs for their releases. Because previously, that never happened. NES/Famicom makes sense, same thing goes with Super Famicom. And then the Game Boy, of course, makes sense. And then the mobile/Switch version, we had the MIDIs. So yeah, this will be the first time, at least officially, you can listen to 1 and 2 and have the orchestral soundtracks. I say officially because there is a mod out there for the Super Famicom version of 1 and 2 that you can install the orchestral music.
Stands between the forces of evil and their wicked ambitions are the heroes of Erdrick's lineage. The time has come for you to go on an adventure of discovery and honor their ancestors' legacy. Dragon Quest I and II HD-2D remake. Available October 30, 2025. Pre-order now.
So yep, there you go right there. That is the trailer. And ultimately, for me, as someone who's been kind of down with 1 and 2 HD-2D, and I've kind of felt that they're probably just going to add as much as 3 HD-2D to these remakes. Watching this trailer and just going over it piece by piece, I do feel a bit better about these remakes. I do think they're adding in a lot more in comparison to 3. And I guess that's mostly just because was 1 and 2 whenever they were remade or re-released. They kind of stuck very closely to the original games, only adding in few quality of life things like banks, like faster grinding and the such. But they never really dug deep into these remakes and added in everything that future Dragon Quest games added into 4, 5, 6, 3, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and 11. And this time around, it does seem like they're going to go above and beyond and actually going to add in these things that the later Dragon Quest games had, but these games never had. And definitely story-wise, it does feels like they're adding in more things because of the fact they have brand new locations to go to. And keep in mind, Dragon Quest III HD-2D remake, aside from the post-game stuff, there was nothing new locale-wise that was added into 3 HD-2D. And the only real story substance they've added in was the extra little cutscenes was Ortega, in comparison to 3. I don't know why they didn't add in these things into 3 HD-2D, but it is what it is. And overall, I think with what they're adding in was 1 and 2, I'm probably going to have a better opinion of these games in comparison to 3 HD-2D. But anyways, that's going to do it for today's reaction. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you going to get 1 and 2 HD-2D? Which console you're going to get it on? And overall, are you excited for these releases? Plus, don't forget to leave this video a like and subscribe as well. And of course, I make a bunch of videos on this channel, and I have something coming up relatively soon. So if you want to check out the many videos I make, check out these videos right here. I personally think you'll enjoy them. See you guys on the next one. Take care.